Hi skiers, I'm Jeff from Skiessentials.com.
And I'm Bob, here to help out.
And today we're doing another 2019 ski review. This is our first Fischer review, definitely for 2019, first 2019 Fischer review, and I don't think we've actually done a Ranger review ever, so this is kind of exciting. This is a new model within the Ranger line. There's actually a few new models with the FR in the title. So if you're familiar with the Ranger line, this is the Ranger 98 Ti. Most of the Ranger skis have that Ti in the title. And now there's an FR range, which essentially stands for free ride, or that's how I perceive it, and I think that's what Fischer means. So slightly different ski here. This is 102 underfoot, Ranger 102 FR. It's got more of a twin tip shape than the previous Rangers, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So you can see flatter tail on the Ranger 98, more turned up. It's not a drastic twin tip, but definitely more tail rocker and rise in the tail. So pretty exciting stuff. Really similar construction between the two. Still uses kind of the arrow-shaped style, and it uses AirTech Ti. So basically AirTech is referring to a milled core. So they remove some materials out of the core to lighten it up by 25%, and then they add in Titanal. Something that we notice, it's not the lightest ski in this category. This 177 length comes in at 2,000 grams, which isn't super light, but there are definitely heavier skis out there too. And that's kind of the gist of this new Ranger 102. Bob skied it quite a bit this past winter. This pair actually belongs to a friend of Ski Essentials, who lent it to us for this review, Noah, who you'll see some footage of him in this review as well. He skied it all season. Another one of our staff members, Pat, works up at our physical store, Pinnacle Ski and Sports. He was testing the prototype of this ski last year. So while it's a brand new ski, we have a fair amount of experience on it. And Bob, we're gonna rely on your Ranger expertise here, because Bob's been on it more than me. What would you say that just like your initial takeaways are?
Yeah, I remember riding up with Noah when he was skiing on it and said, that looks like something I'd like to get on. Jeff was talking about the AirTech Ti model. The big difference, the carbon nose in the Rangers, you know, the carbon comes down to about here. You can see it in the top sheet of the ski. The 102 FR does not. It's the same product all the way through. So you can really tell the difference once you get it on edge, that tip really hooks up and pulls you through the turn. The tail, as we were saying, that's a bit more freestyle oriented. You know, not a true twin tip in a park ski, but you can definitely feel the playful nature coming through in this tail. Whereas on the Ranger 98, when you get on this thing, you can definitely feel this tail really hold you in the turn and lock you in, which isn't a bad thing, but that's one of the main differences, is you're more stout in the tip and more playful in the tail. Underfoot, they feel pretty similar.
Yep. And
you can definitely feel a more playful feel from this. If you spend more of your time off trail, that's probably going to suit you better, in the woods or wherever you want to take it, it's going to go there. The Rangers are definitely, the 98 and the 108 that kind of go on the other side of this, are going to be more trail oriented, but also not locked in. But definitely when you click into this, you feel it right away that it's all there, and it's, I would hesitate to put an intermediate skier on it. They could enjoy it.
I think it'd be a bit much for an intermediate skier.
Might be a bit much.
Fairly hefty. I think it doesn't feel like it's a drastically light swing weight.
No,
which I think is kind of demanding for an intermediate skier.
Yeah.
So I'd point out that at 102 underfoot, I would say most people that buy this ski are going to be buying it really as an all-mountain ski. You know, maybe you'll have a narrower ski in your quiver too if you're super lucky. Maybe you have a wider ski too. But I would say this kind of falls into an all-mountain category, even though it's got that FR on the title. You know, they're putting it in the free ride category. To me, a ski that's 102 underfoot, I would say most skiers today expect it to have a nice range of performance. So how would you say it does, like, when you're just skiing groomers?
It does great. You know, like you said, if you're exclusively skiing groomers, or if you live in a low snow area, you'd want something narrower. But for, you know, kind of that snowier region, I mean, where we are in Stowe, it snows a little bit a lot of the time. And so that 102 is going to be a really good, you know, a really good compromise.
Yep.
Whereas if you're out west and you're getting big snows, you're gonna want something wider too.
Yeah.
But definitely sits right in that middle width category. You know, it's on the wide end for groomers, but it's still, you know, it's got that Fischer construction, so that thing just, it lays right over those.
I think this 177 is an 18-meter turn radius.
Yeah.
So it's not, you know, it's small enough turn radius that it's going to feel relatively responsive. There's enough camber in the ski that on groomers, it's, you know, you can link some carving turns. Like Bob was saying, this is going to, the Ranger 98 is going to hold an edge a little bit better. But I would say if you're relatively balanced on the ski on the 102 and you want to link carving turns, it's going to do it really well. Probably one of the highlights of the ski would be its maneuverability, ability to release the tail edge.
Yeah, definitely from the middle of the ski back, you feel that maneuverability and that playfulness. It just pivots right on it.
Yeah.
Whereas you don't feel that in the 98 as much.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I would say like trees, if you're a tree skier and you want a kind of a playful tree ski that's still pretty stable, pretty powerful.
Yeah.
I think it's got an impressive mix of those two characteristics. It's playful from the shape, but it's relatively stable and powerful from the construction. So kind of a nice blend of performance characteristics, which is something that we often talk about fondly in skis. If they have a good blend of kind of performance across the spectrum, makes for a really fun all-mountain ski. I think they did a really interesting and great job with the tail, and I think the tail, you're gonna have to correct me if you think I'm wrong here, but I think the tail kind of says a lot about the different skiers that can use this. So it's a twin tip, so take somebody like myself. I've got a terrain park background. Noah, our friend who is skiing this season, he's a park coach, so he spends a lot of time landing switch, skiing backwards, that kind of stuff. So for somebody like myself and Noah, it's kind of exciting in that sense, but there's also this nice flat section on the tail, which I don't know if I've ever seen. I think I have, but you don't see it very often on a real twin tip, having that flat section. So if you wanted to throw a skin on it and use it as a touring ski, it's kind of like making both those different types of skiers happy. If you're a kind of freestyle-y park skier, you get the twin tip. If you're more of a touring enthusiast, you get a tail or a skin attachment on the tail, which I think is cool, and I think it's a good representation of how versatile the ski can be. Would you agree? I
would definitely agree. I don't know if that's exactly what they were going for with the FR aspect of it, but it's certainly capable of, you know, of touring for sure. Yeah, no doubt.
I think you'll see people playing around with mount points on this ski. Noah's got them mounted a little bit more forward than the recommended midsole point is essentially right there. So you can tell Noah's midsole is more about there. So he moved this binding mount up quite a bit. You know, if you're spending time in the terrain park, I think that's something that's worth considering. But always interesting to see a range of mount points. And there's on the 98 too. But I think more people will take advantage of that on the 102.
And even at his forward mount point, it doesn't look like it's out of normal character.
Not at all. You know, he still looks like he's in the center of the camber, center of the side cut, and everything like that. It's not like he is way too far forward on a directional ski. And it is still a directional ski,
yep.
Even though it's a twin tip. You know, the side cut dimensions, it's wider in the shovel than it is in the tail. But still has that balanced feel overall. I think it would be a great powder ski.
Yep.
I personally haven't got to ski it in powder. Noah skied it a lot in powder this year. He's got a wider Ranger as well. There is a 115, I believe it's a Ranger 115 FR, which is kind of the widest ski in the new FR line. So if you want pure powder performance, you could consider going that direction. But I think this shape is awesome.
Yeah,
in
definitely.
powder.
Yeah, they've done a good thing with this ski for sure.
Yeah. I talk about it with the Enforcer series sometimes, but I think when you have really smooth early taper in the tip, it has a very predictable feel in soft snow. It's not like diving, but it's not staying on top of everything. Yeah, do you have anything to add?
Just that I really enjoyed, you know, we skied it on a pretty soft snow day, and I, you know, did a good mix of on trail, in the woods. You know, just tried to have fun with it, and it was not that difficult to have fun on it. You know, it's just a super fun, playful ski that a big range of advanced skiers can enjoy on a lot of different days. So yeah, it's definitely one of those skis that hits a lot of different boxes and checks them all pretty good.
Yeah, for me that's one of the biggest takeaways is just the range of skiers that this can be appropriate for.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool. And definitely just a valuable addition to the Fischer collection of skis. They've definitely been making a name for themselves, these Ranger skis, in past years. We see a lot of people on them around here at Stowe, and I think a lot of people at West ski them as well. So it's nice to have a couple more models in there, just gives you more options. So we don't have them yet. We'll have these skis later in the summer, so if you're interested in a pair, check back. I would expect that we'll see them sometime later in the summer, early fall, August, that time of year. And as always, let us know if you have any questions. If you want to know how this ski compares to some other skis out there, let us know in the comments and we'll reply there instead of putting it in this video, because already people have been asking us how it compares to certain models, and instead of trying to compare it to everything that people asked about, just leave us a comment and we will respond with our opinions. So thank you. Thanks, Bob, for lending your expertise, and we will see you on the slopes when the snow starts falling.